Hello, what's going on, boys? Hopefully, this stream is working. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm gonna check just to be sure. Alright, sweet. I think it is. Anyway, we've, edited a few things to try to make the stream a little bit more interesting for people who may be watching at some point, but I wanted to go ahead and, try to talk about some things that I thought would be interesting in terms of what you should expect for the package for the cup race tomorrow on Sunday. Because I feel like a few things need to be mentioned, at least in terms of how to assess what is a good race versus what would be more entertainment style racing, which I feel like there is a big difference. Hi, I love you. Hi, Brett. Oh, Brett. Fuck. Anyway, so, yeah, I wanted to try to explain what I mean, and I'm gonna do a little bit of showing a video and whatnot, so you can tell, because I feel like maybe not a lot of people watched qualifying yesterday. Or was it yesterday? I'm pretty sure it was. It was before the truck race, right? Pretty sure. But I feel like this is gonna be interesting, and people like it. So, yeah, we're gonna show you a little bit of a fucking video there. Also, my viewer count thing isn't even fucking showing the correct viewers, so we'll turn it off, dude. Who cares? Anyway, so here's this video, right? I'm gonna make sure to bring it up on screen so you can see it. Whatnot. Hey, YouTube, don't fucking hurt me, dog. Anyway. So, what I gathered from this session that I thought was interesting is we're gonna see how far back the toe actually goes, which I was moderately surprised how far back the toe actually was. Because watch what's interesting here. Harvick gets a run on the backstretch, and not a huge one, as you can tell. It's not going to be IndyCar-style draft, but what is interesting is right here, where if a car is slower in front of you and you get about to this length back, so about, you know, a car length, look at how much he's able to grab going into the corner, which they underestimated, and I wanted to see how bad Harvick's push was going into the corner because of this run. But, I mean, there is a pretty big marginal difference between, we'll see it. We'll go back to the backstretch. I mean, that's about, you could fit 3 cars in there, I would think. If you did it right, you could fit 3 cars in there. I mean, he comes back from 3 car lengths back, and then in the middle of the corner, Suarez screws up. He's slamming the ground. As you can see, there's sparks and whatnot. He's hitting the ground, and that allows for Harvick to catch up pretty huge. Then, you know, he has a great run going into turn 1, which I thought was pretty surprising. But then you have this little clip here, and kudos to NASCAR for showing it, because they could have been assholes and not shown any of this shit. But the run that Larson gets was comparable to what Harvick did on Suarez. And you see how bad the aero push actually is, to the point where he barely touches the wall. I mean, you'll hear it in the audio also, so listen to it. He barely touched the wall. So, what I thought was interesting that I needed to point out in this video is the fact that the runs are gigantic, but the dirty air is so bad that I feel like the race is gonna be interesting for 10 laps, and then it's going to kind of fall apart, because let's be honest, the way that these cars are working now is the amount of dirty air allows for them to be close to each other at the beginning of the run, but since the corner speed is so high, I mean, they've literally gone up. They showed it at Atlanta, but they went up from middle of corner speed being 160 in 2018 to 174 miles an hour. So they're not slowing down going into the corners. I mean, they are basically full fucking throttle around these racetracks. So Las Vegas won't be different. This is going to be the biggest telltale sign of whether you should watch the rest of the season. These cars are going to be packed on top of each other on restarts, of course. We saw that in Atlanta. But they're going to spread out pretty bad, I would think, over, a considerable amount of time. Maybe, shit, I could even say like 7 laps. After 7 laps, they're going to be not running in the same wake as each other. You're going to see a lot of cars all over the racetrack trying to find a way to get a run, because you can see it here. Johnson went low because he doesn't want to be in that fucking wake. We might even see a lot of teams going towards a looser setup so they can actually run in the dirty air, but the second that they get out of dirty air, they're going to be out of fucking control. Because, you can't have a tight car behind these cars right here, because you're going to be piss poor slow. You're not going to be anywhere near as fast. And you see it in this video for sure, where the dirty air is so bad that they just don't run behind each other. And that's kind of a key component of how you're going to be able to get a run going onto the straightaway. Like, it's going to be a lot about setting up a pass. You can see Jimmie Johnson set up his pass pretty well there on Joey Logano, but he wasn't able to get to the inside of him. The draft isn't actually that strong. What is different about the draft is that you actually have, somewhat of a draft. It's still not incredible, and it kind of can't be considering their big, heavy-ass race cars. But once again, I just want to point out how far back the toe actually goes, because it was pretty surprising. Because we see it in turn 1, especially at the start of this video. This is the more interesting part to me, was this little clip that they showed at the beginning. But you see that Harvick is pretty close to him in turn 1. He rides up the track. He's still in his wake, but he got enough onto the right side that the right side downforce wasn't disturbed. And then you see how Suarez, since he missed the corner, that benefited Harvick actually a lot. Because, Harvick's got the whole right side out of the wake. And then the second that Suarez goes up, now he's got the left side out of the wake. So if somebody screws up the corner, that's going to be a big reason why you get such a huge run. But even with Harvick having the left side completely clear out of the wake, you see it off the corner, he shoots way up the track because of the right side being out of the wake. Look at how much higher he goes up the track. Then they conveniently kind of cut away from it. But, the amount of dirty air that he actually has here is off the charts because the right side is completely blocked off. That is going to be the key component of the race, is dirty air. We're probably not going to see as many passes as we would normally, I would think. I think that passes are going to be up, but battles are kind of going to be down, because you're not going to be able to do any of this 10 laps into the run. You're just not going to be able to. But look at how big of a run he actually got there. Like, that's crazy. And you see how he set it up here. Look at how much higher he enters the corner versus Suarez. They're about a half a car length difference, but that's all it takes. Then you got Suarez going all the way down. Harvick goes all the way down as well, but Suarez buffs, he starts smacking the pavement with the front of the car, and then that just allows for Harvick to get a gigantic run. When you have enough momentum, that's when the car can actually use the amount of draft that they're going to have. Because, that's a full car length, and by the time that they get into the corner, you see how Harvick has a gigantic run, like a huge run, and then they cut away from it. He probably didn't make that pass, because the amount of momentum that you're going to have to generate to be able to get that run, you saw it. It took a lot. It took the car bouncing off the ground, going up the track in front, for the car behind, who is, we're going to guess how many miles an hour there was from this point to about this point. It was probably like 2 to 3 miles an hour difference. And you can tell because look at how much he buffets the ground, and then here comes Harvick fucking hauling ass right behind him. So, I mean, the runs that you're going to be able to get are completely dependent on whether somebody's going to fuck up. And this race in specific is going to be a big tell on whether or not the season's going to be good. Especially watch the runs that they're going to be getting, 20, 30, 40 laps into. Because I don't think we're going to see any racing. At least that far into it. If you do, you're going to see it a lot further back in the pack, because then you're going to have situations like these where cars are packed up on top of each other, but they're not going to be able to do anything. I mean, Larson came from so far back, got a huge run, but it doesn't matter when the dirty air is just off the charts. And they've got no room on the outside of the tracks anymore with the safer barriers being everywhere. I mean, he wasn't even in dirty air for that long also. Like, he may have been getting some from Ty Dillon up here. I kind of doubt it, though, but maybe he got a little bit. But watch how hard he transitions up the track. I don't know if he got tight along with the dirty air that's going to happen later, but he comes up the track and just has no idea that it was going to push that bad. Because it pushed pretty bad. Like, I don't know what happened to him. I mean, he hit a bump for sure. Gigantic bump right about there. And then it just shoots up the track. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. This track is going to be the more interesting part of the package to see if this season's going to be interesting. At least that's my opinion. You're still able to get a run. Like, the amount of dirty air that he had to still be able to get this big of a run was actually pretty intense. Like, that's insane. But clean air is going to be key. Really key. I think they're going to have way more dirty air than the trucks do, for sure. I was talking to a truck driver that shall not be named, at least at this time. I don't know how he feels about his opinions being out there like that, but there is a truck driver that I've talked to where he was saying, it's probably going to be like the trucks, but the runs aren't going to look as magnificent as the trucks do, because trucks punch a gigantic fucking hole in the air. Which it kind of looks that way because you have to gain so much momentum to even be able to get into the toe where it really pulls you forward. And it looks like, at least from what I saw multiple times that we've looked at it, like, you have to make a mistake. The guy in front of you has to make a mistake, because look at it. He didn't even make a mistake on his own. He just happened to bounce the car because the tires were probably low air pressure. But, I mean, he got a gigantic run, but it required an error. And here, an error led to him being within the wake, but you're not going to be able to do that. I don't know how many laps that was in. I doubt it was that many. It was probably really about the first or second lap on tires, maybe at least in this segment of the run. But, I mean, damn, he got a huge push of dirty air, but it worked out because he got a big run. Cars are going to be able to draft further back because the hole's going to be even bigger because they're all kind of lined up with each other on the straightaways, but the dirty air is just going to be insane. And I'm going to put it out there right now. The next race that you're going to need to watch in terms of seeing if the package is going to be good is places like Kansas. Kansas is going to be a huge deal, actually. Like, the amount of race that you have at Kansas determines whether this package is going to be interesting in the future. 100%. So, just letting that be known immediately. So we can have, something there. Some discussion. And also, this stream was so early that like nobody's gonna be able to see it, so it'll go up as a video of its own. But hopefully everybody enjoys the layout that I've tried to do here in terms of, you know, showing this video and the layout of chat and etc. That'll probably become a mainstay, at least for these types of videos, which I want to keep doing these types of videos. So, at the end of the race on Sunday, I'll definitely make another video like this one. So if people want to check that out, then you have to, you know, come to my channel when it's live after the race on Sunday, because I'm sure enough gonna do something in terms of an opinion in that video. So, in that stream, whatever you would like to call it. So, but yeah, those are things that you need to try to watch for, is how racy are they gonna be after 10 laps of a run at Vegas tomorrow. Because if they have no racing, if it's not, if it's spread out pretty bad in terms of the leader to second place, especially after 10 laps, enough to see that second place cannot get to the leader, which I'm assuming is what's going to happen, then this package is going to be kind of hit or miss. There's going to be a lot better racetracks that they can go to in the future for this package that will work pretty well, like Michigan and what's another racetrack that could work pretty decent? I don't know if they're running the Aeroducts at Auto Club, but that would be an interesting racetrack for this package. Atlanta was pretty good, so I feel like older-ish pavement for these cars under this current package are going to be pretty decent, but it's just Michigan is probably going to be pretty decent because, you know, if they're going fast there, the hole that they punch for cars behind trying to draft is going to be ginormous. So they'll probably get pretty big runs there. The truck races are always great at Michigan, so I don't see why these this package would be bad there. Auto Club is going to be interesting. I think another track that is going to be probably a sleeper in terms of it being interesting. I don't know if they're running the Aeroducts there. It would probably be... I want to say Texas, but I'm going to cross my fingers and go with Chicagoland. I feel like Chicagoland is probably going to be the better track. Texas is probably going to be good because the dirty air is going to be so bad that they're going to just have to go hog fucking wild and try to use the outside of the track. At least the lane up from the bottom. That's why I think that's going to be an interesting race. But Chicagoland is just going to be fucking out of control, I feel like. So, but that's my opinion on this fucking package and what you need to look for at Las Vegas. Okay? So, hopefully you enjoyed the fucking video, okay? If you did, smash that motherfucking like button, okay? And if you like this layout, let me fucking know, man. Alright. See you guys later. Bye.